have gotten attention, including in 2020 when you posted then a deleted.
Mono! Shut the up! Oh, brother! Oh, my God. Man, what the bro, what the yo, I swear to God, CNN is more adversarial to a... Oh, we're going to do Aftyn Behn. Yeah, I've been photographed with Jessica Escape from Tarkov. And yes, we're going to do Oklahoma University. I briefly covered it yesterday, but we're going to do it again today.
Tomorrow, a special election for Tennessee's 7th congressional district. This is a heavily Republican district. So why are Republicans having to spend so much money there? CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton is here with the details. When I say this is a Republican district, Harry, how Republican?
It is a ruby red Republican district, John Berman. What are we talking about? Well, why don't we just take a look at the past 3 presidential elections in the great state of Tennessee, in the 7th district, in that great state. Look at Trump's margins. In 2016, he won it by 17 points. 2020, 15 points. And then in 2024, Johnny B, takes the cake here. We get Donald Trump winning by 22 points. That's why I say even a close GOP win tomorrow is a bad sign for them, because what we're dealing with is a district that all 3 times that Donald Trump was on the ballot in the general election, he won it by double digits. And last time, he broke the 20-point margin barrier.
I would say if you had to look at the congressional map, any district that Donald Trump won by 22 points, you would say, you know, you've got like nearly a 100% chance of winning if you're running for Congress there. But what are the prediction markets saying right now?
Yeah, what are we talking about in terms of the prediction market odds? Look, the Democrat has a 15% chance of winning in that race, okay? A 15% chance, which ain't nothing in a district that Donald Trump won by 22 points. But here I think is the key nugget on this side of the ledger, and that is a GOP win by under 10 points. There's a 68% chance of that. So there is a more than 2/3 chance that the Republican candidate, yes, they win, but they win by a significantly lower margin than Donald Trump. We're talking about double digits, smaller. We're talking about a huge shift to the left. We're talking about, when you add these two together, we're talking about a more than 80% chance that there is a clear double-digit shift to the left, and a 15% chance the Democrat actually wins in a district that Donald Trump won by 22 points. That just shows you how bad the environment is for Republicans right now, that the Democrat has any sort of a chance in this district.
Talk to me about what the special election has been showing so far.
Yeah, okay, so you see this and you say, okay, this might just be a one-off in Tennessee. It's a December special election. But get this, 2025 House special elections. Dems outran Kamala Harris. We've had 5 so far. Arizona 7, Dem outran Kamala Harris. Florida 1, Dem outran Kamala Harris. Florida 6, Dem outran Kamala Harris. Texas 18, Dem outran Kamala Harris. And in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., in Virginia 11, the Dem outran Kamala Harris. And on average so far, the Democrats have been outrunning Kamala Harris's margin by over 15 points. So what the prediction market suggests would happen in Tennessee is not something that's happening in isolation. It is happening all over the congressional map.
Okay, so when you see something like this, what is...
It's a real Holy Toledo type situation, honestly. A real Holy Toledo type situation, ladies and gentlemen.
History tell us about what ultimately happens.
Okay, so you see these and you say, special elections, what do they matter? Well, take a look to the midterm that happens down the line. You go all the way back since over 20 years ago. What are we talking about? Special elections and midterm results. When a party outperformed in special elections.
If anyone honest was around Kamala, they would sit her down, play this segment, and tell her not to run again. No, sweetie, you don't understand. The K-Hive is real, okay?
Since 2005, 5 out of 5 times they went on to win the House of Representatives in the next midterm. So what's happening, what's likely to happen tomorrow in Tennessee, what has happened across the congressional map is likely not to stay in 2025, is likely to push forward and be very good news for Democrats come 2026.
Watch these margins tomorrow night. Republicans are a little bit jittery. Harriet, great to see you this morning.
To see you.
Thank you very much.
So you just heard my interview with Democrat Aftyn Behn, who is suddenly in that high-stakes House race. But do Democrats really have a chance to flip that deep red Tennessee seat? And what about President Trump? Why, with everything else going on, has he set his sights on strong-arming Indiana?
Is Harry HasanAbi hit? No. Come on, man. No. I mean, I'm sure he has seen my coverage of him and how much this community rides for him, but I highly doubt that he's a fan.
Republicans, my panel is back to answer those questions. So first on Aftyn Behn, I asked her about would she vote to keep the government open. she didn't exactly say. She didn't say. She said she'd take into consideration her constituents' concerns. Asked if she thought ICE should be abolished. She's showing up at the AOC tomorrow at a tele-rally. She wouldn't say directly. Wouldn't say if she would vote for Hakeem Jeffries as speaker. She's leaned very hard on the issues of affordability. It just speaks to the fine line she has to walk at this critical moment.
Yeah, so she's pro-affordability, that's what I take.
Right.
But unwilling to really express opinions on other things. And yet, as you say, having AOC come in to appear with her, if she's trying to go for turnout of Democrats, seems to me she needs to be a little more forthright herself. And if she's trying to walk a line to attract independent-minded and maybe some Republican voters, she needs to speak out more, it seems to me. If for her to win this race would be a surprise. The fact that we're talking about the possibility she could win this race is a surprise, and whatever happens on Tuesday, a warning sign for Republicans.
Yeah, I was curious if she was going to dive into, she has a progressive past, if she would really dive into it, embrace it, and say, this is who I am, I'm going to fight for this, because this is where the politics are. This is where she sees her district at this moment. Especially since this is who she's appearing with. She has appeared. These Democrats have helped her in this race so far. Al Gore, she mentioned, coming tomorrow as part of that tele-rally. Pramila Jayapal, who's the leader of the one of the leaders, past leader of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, appearing with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And then Kamala Harris was out there recently, too, and to get out the vote that not necessarily you'd consider, moderates.
Yeah. I think she's trying to do two things. On one hand, she is trying to give the appearance that she will, and I think it's genuine. She wants to show voters, particularly in those rural areas, that she is prepared to be a congresswoman for all of her constituents, which means even if she's a progressive member of the state house, she wants them to believe that she will be open-minded and listen to their concerns and be prepared to moderate her stances if that's what the district is reflecting. But on the other hand, she has a election she's trying to win on Tuesday.
Bro, I love that they still say shit like Kamala Harris, not a moderate. Yeah. I can't believe that Kamala Harris, the radical, is campaigning when she didn't even actually endorse her. She was just there. I lived in Nashville for 6 years. I'm super surprised that she's doing so well, but I do think that Kamala Harris Bain's chance by getting involved. Yeah, I just don't. I think a lot of these previous Democratic failures oftentimes end up becoming, end up having more worth as like anti-endorsements. Like Hillary Clinton refusing to endorse Zohran Mamdani the day prior to the election. Probably a good thing, Probably not a bad thing. He did win. She has a 100% success rate in reverse endorsements. To be fair.
Tuesday, which is why she's having all these surrogates from progressive to more, moderate establishment Democrats to help get out the vote, because I do think their polling must be showing them that it's close enough that she could actually pull this out if Democrats turn out.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, because Republicans both are spending final stretch, and Democrats really hope to ride their wave of momentum, which we've seen in special elections. And this year, look at the 2024 House margin versus this special election margin. If you compare apples to apples, those same districts, how they did last cycle versus the special elections this cycle, Democrats are doing better in almost in every single race by double digits, significantly improving their performance from the year before.
And I think this tells us what a godsend this affordability question is, because this race encapsulates the dilemma that Democrats have. They know they need their base to come out, as you said, in these elections.
What kind of election analysis is this? No, it's not a fucking godsend. It's just a reflection of how bad things have gotten. Ultimately, who gives a fuck if Democrats win if they're not going to do anything about it, I feel like that's more important than anything else.
But they need to talk to a much wider cohort of voters. Now, the question this election poses is whether affordability is such a powerful argument that it can, overcome some of the suspicions the more moderate voters have about these Democrats? And does it diffuse the normal MAGA attack lines, like this person's, very left wing, they were for defund the police, etc., etc.? Is affordability such a powerful force that it can supersede all of this?
We talked about redistricting, or we're going to talk about redistricting. There's a little warning flag about redistricting here. This is a district that was created by Republicans in 2022 to be a safe Republican district.
It's chopped up.
They chopped up
so
Nashville into
funny.
3 different congressional districts in order to make it so. That's exactly what they're doing in states like Texas. And the warning sign is, by diluting these Republican districts, will they really run a risk of losing some seats that they thought were safe Republican
It's such a good point, because it's actually exactly what's happening in Indiana right now. This week, the center of the political world is a ruby red congressional district in Tennessee, the type of place where Democrats would ordinarily never have a chance. But both President Trump and the GOP congressman who recently resigned coasted to victory in Tennessee's 7th district, which encompasses parts of Nashville and wide swaths of rural areas. But suddenly, with less than 48 hours to go, both parties have poured millions in the final stretch, with Republicans scrambling to avert an electoral disaster. Joining me now is the Democrat who hopes to flip this seat and narrow the GOP's razor-thin House majority, Tennessee State Representative Aftyn Behn. Representative Behn, thank you so much for being with me this morning. Really appreciate your time. As you know,
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. As you know, this is a district that is solidly red. Both Trump and GOP Congressman Mark Green wanted.
They won't say this on CNN, but DSA endorsed. And also anti-Israel. About this situation is that, like, this was supposed to be a sleeper upset, but now it's very quickly elevated to national prominence, like the profile and the race itself.
By about 22 points, but your record is pretty progressive. So is that really in line with conservative voters in your district?
Well, the reason this race is competitive is because the Washington Republican agenda of delivering an economy that works for everyone has not delivered. And I think it's hilarious that Republicans and their billionaire friends are trying to spend millions to save a seat that they should win without thinking. But if we flip this seat, it will send a national message that the Republican Party needs to get serious about lowering healthcare costs.
And before we dive into some of those,
Great way to reframe that for, like, the conservative voters that might see this piece. Yeah, if you're a lifelong Republican, but you're mad at Trump right now for not delivering on the agenda, vote for me, because it's a big message.
aspects in your race, I do want to get your views on your party, because there's been a debate since last year about the way forward in the party and the like, and voters still have a very low opinion of Democrats per many public polls. Even one recent poll showed that just 29% of Americans have a favorable view of Democrats. So what about your view about your party and your party's leaders, specifically about your party's leaders? Do you have confidence
I hope she shits on the party here.
in your party's leaders?
Well, I've been running this race as a Democrat that cares about affordability, and I think that's what's going to win it for us. I think that there is a new generation of leadership in the party, and especially from the South, where we want to see Democratic leaders that step up, especially in moments like this that require a fearless, bold leadership. And that's what I'm offering the district, and I think it's resonating with voters.
If you had a chance to, would you vote for Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker?
We represent very different districts, and I've got 48 hours to flip a congressional district and really send a message to Washington, like I said, that they need to get serious about healthcare costs. Honestly, I haven't thought about it, but I want to say that I have been really grateful as someone who has organized in the South.
That sucks because she can't say no right now because he literally holds so much of the funding. But if she were to outright say no, it would boost her profile in the fucking race, which is why she has to do this diplomatic no, Like with Zoran, it's entirely different. I have more criticisms for Zoran, especially after he won, where he's like defending Hakeem Jeffries. But for her, and I would go so far as to say Zoran didn't need this in the lead up either. If they were to ask Zoran, like, oh, do you think Hakeem Jeffries is a good leader? Zoran Mamdani actually criticized him quite a bit. And it's really beneficial for her to be able to do that open. The problem is because of the extraordinary amount of attention on this race now, she kind of is stuck because Hakeem Jeffries can't just like pull back from funding her campaign all of a sudden.
Her entire life. I've been very grateful for the national support in this race. Tennessee is often a state that is overlooked and disinvested in. And to see national surrogates and national supporters providing monetary support and jumping in, it really means a lot to all of us. We welcome it all.
Yeah, speaking of that, I mean, because we are seeing both sides sending these big name surrogates in these final hours.
No, no, her district hates Hakeem Jeffries. The voters, dude, Hakeem Jeffries is nationally deeply unpopular. The reason why she can't fucking shit on Hakeem Jeffries is because he holds a lot of power within the Democratic Party right now. It would be tremendously beneficial if Hakeem Jeffries was like a smarter politician and a better leader. He would literally let her shit all over him. But the reason why she's giving this diplomatic answer is because there's uncertainty, clearly.
Hours before Tuesday, and tomorrow, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is holding a tele-rally for you. Are you in line with her ideologically?
Like I said, I think that there is a strain of the Democratic Party that cares about holding corporations accountable and lowering costs for working families. And my politics are one in alignment of that. As a state legislator, I've worked to eliminate Tennessee's regressive grocery tax. As an organizer, I work to make healthcare more affordable. I think those are the Democratic leaders and candidates that I really resonate with, are those that are trying to lower costs for working families.
Yeah, because Trump has been calling you, quote, the AOC of Tennessee. So, I mean, aren't you just feeding?
Yeah. AOC is another figure that probably isn't very popular in Tennessee, but has like decent approval nationally, I would say, as opposed to other high profile Democrats who have really low approval ratings. I mean, the Democrats like AOC in Tennessee, but her district is not just Democrats, you know?
Into that narrative by appearing with her?
Like I said, we're really grateful for the support across the political spectrum. And if you and for your listeners, the Teletown Hall also features former Vice President Al Gore, who is a Tennessee legend. So I look at it as iconic that you have Democrats from all political stripes joining in on this moment and saying, we are standing up to what is happening in Washington, and we want to be part of the solution rather than the problem.
Yeah, because some of those you are campaigning with, including AOC, have called for ICE to be abolished. You have been sharply critical of the.
Oh my God. Mono, what are you doing? I can't tell if he's just trying to rat fuck her. Fuck. Do these guys have one speed, bro? What the fuck is going on? He's literally, are you working for the RNC rapid response team? What the fuck? He's literally designing these questions, perhaps in the worst way possible, so that they get instantly cut and posted on the rapid response networks. Holy shit. Hey, can you speak into the microphone clearly real quick to say that you love defunding ICE and fuck ICE? Don't you feel like ICE are brave soldiers working tirelessly to defend the American boundaries? Why do you hate crime and punishment? Or sorry, rather, why do you love crime and hate punishment?
ICE raids in Nashville, but do you think that ICE should be abolished?
Like I said, I've got 48 hours to flip this congressional district and have been...
Hey, can you make broad claims in your currently purplish district that's deep red? Can you just make some fucking wide swings here? Cinemarxism, this answer should be easy yes with anyone with a soul. Yeah, it's a fucking plus 25 Trump district, man. Calm down, okay? Even if her answer is yes, you're trying to win a fucking election. Jesus Christ. The person that you're talking about literally cheered on disrupting ICE activity interstate. What do you mean? Like, if you don't think that this is a real one, I don't know what to fucking tell you, you know? DSA endorsed, openly talked about like disrupting ICE activity in her fucking neighborhood. Celebrated that shit, and you're still like, no, obviously, if you have any good conscience in a fucking plus 25 Trump district that everyone is literally looking at is like, wow, I can't believe that I cannot fucking believe that this is even a point of contention. This is a competition at all. And you're over here being like, why isn't she saying that she wants to abolish the commodity form? Like, okay, I don't know, maybe because she's trying to win a fucking election.
Dogged about the message of affordability, and that's not what I'm hearing in the district. What I'm hearing is People, especially rural voters, are driving 4 hours to a hospital without care. We've got veterans that are going without, care because the VA hasn't been fully funded. And so these aren't the issues that I'm hearing about in the district. What I am hearing about is that grocery costs are high, utility bills are high, rent is high, and there's no kind of end in sight. And so my message has been one to lower costs, and I think it's resonating.
Yeah. She literally was on video saying bullying ICE officers is a major win, that they were able to successfully disrupt ICE operations
Across the district, which is why this race is so close.
But you have been critical of the past on these ICE raids. Do you think all these ICE raids in Nashville should stop?
I mean, it's been hard. I'm in my district, I represent a Hispanic community, and I'm also a social worker. And so prior to that ICE incident, I was out knocking doors in my district, talking to Hispanic constituents who said that we are concerned about the overreach of our federal. As a lawmaker, I represent 60,000 voters. As a congresswoman, I'll represent 400, 700,000 voters. And so I take into consideration the real issues that these voters and my constituents are living with. One of which is they don't want their federal government overreaching in their communities.
Some of your past tweets have gotten attention, including in 2020 when you posted then a deleted.
Manu! Shut the fuck up! Oh, brother! Oh my God! Man, what the fuck, bro? Bro, what the fuck? Yo, I swear to God, CNN is more adversarial to a fucking left flank upset than they are to like Randy Fine, who is the fattest version of Adolf Hitler that has ever existed throughout many different formations. This is the fattest one we've ever seen. And they literally would just sit there and act as though he's like a fucking normal person. Meanwhile, well, you have old tweets. Post old tweet. Why would you post? What were you posting at Peak Woke? Yeah, this is
great.
Yeah, this was awesome.
We've got our girl squad and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Your favorite blonde state rep, her phone's always at 1%. I think my superlative is most likely to always have her phone at 1%. So,
Could you text that?
no, I'm still here. Okay, so we're waiting for my phone to charge. Let me send this to Emily and the girl. There we go. Okay. Did he let them go? Oh, people.
Us?
Yeah, they think we were roasted.
Oh.
My life cut out. Yeah, well, it's because your girl can't keep her phone charged. So they're probably running our information. Nikki, tell us what's transpired tonight.
So we found the ICE and the THP people. I did not put makeup on because this was not
Okay,
planned.
then I'll put it back.
No, I mean,
you're
it's
good?
fine.
Okay,
It's,
okay.
I've already seen it.
Okay.
We found the ICE and the THP people, and then we followed them to the gas station, and I took their spot at the gas station, so I think that made them a little upset. And then I tried to go in the gas station, go to the bathroom, but the gas station people would not let me go, even though I told them I really had to. And then when I got out, they were leaving, so I left too. And then they pulled into another parking lot, and when I pulled into the other parking lot behind them, then they flicked their lights to pull us over and accused me of running a red light.
So there we are.
So here we are.
Tomato.
Help.
Okay, why do you think that they came up to my side? The state trooper came up to my side of the window and not Nikki's window. Why do you think that happened?
Also, she did not have to give her ID. Am I correct? I know I'm correct because I asked this earlier.
So one, why do you think that
This is awesome and good, okay? There's a difference between me showing this and actually talking about how fucking awesome this is and the correct thing to do versus Manu Raju posting it on CNN amidst the fucking campaign, okay, in a hostile manner. Do you understand? That's why she's not going to fucking answer the question of being like, well, what about your old tweets? She's not going to fucking answer that question on CNN the same way that she would in a situation like mine, with an audience like mine. I think there's two reasons. I think two reasons why CNN does this. One, because of Israel, obviously, like her position on Israel. And two, this once again is a major blow to the establishment Democrat narrative that Zoran's politics only works in New York City. New York City is not plus 25 Trump. The district that she is potentially going to win, inshallah, tomorrow, is all of a sudden, DSA endorsements in Tennessee. If a DSA endorsed candidate in Tennessee that's anti-Israel fucking wins an impossible race like this, it's over. What can fucking Matt Iglesias write about? He will kill himself. Think about that. He literally has spent his entire life being like, this kind of politics only works in big cities. I mean, think about that. Think about Ezra Klein. What will Ezra Klein talk about? At least unlike Matty Iglesias, I think Ezra Klein will read the tea leaves and then, I don't know, try to restructure his abundance argument to be like, well, Aftyn Behn won because she's an abundist. But Matt Iglesias is so antagonistic to any sort of expression of left politics that he probably would kill himself if she wins. Save yourself the time and retract the suicide statement? What? Why? I didn't say he should. What do you mean? No, clippers and all, but like nothing I said is like clippable. They're just going to call Nashville a big city? Yeah, except this is a part of Nashville alongside this is a specifically crafted district that's supposed to be better for Republicans.
It then deleted a post that said, quote, good morning, especially to the 54% of Americans that believe burning down a police station is justified. Another, you appear to supportive of a demand to, quote, defund the police. Do you regret posting those comments?
Fuck you, man. Fuck you. This dude. Fuck you. Actually, fuck you. Fuck off, bro. CNN is so ass. Oh my God. I'm sorry. If you're supposed to be the liberal, impartial, unbiased news outlet and your line of questioning is identical to what Jesse Waters would ask, then maybe you're not impartial and unbiased.
Yeah, I said that during the George Floyd moment when the entire country was demanding accountability and safer policing. And what I've always believed is that communities need investment. They need investment to be safe. They need investment in mental health responders, first responders, and youth programs to reduce that crime. And, you know, I was a private citizen back then, and now I'm a lawmaker. Like I said, I represent 60,000 voters with diverse political opinions. But what I hear.
Yeah, then the next question is, so your opinion has changed on policing. Your opinion has evolved, so why did you say it?
Hear from families across the 7th district is that they want safe neighborhoods and they want to lower the cost of living, and that's where my priorities are.
So should you not have posted those?
Like I said, I'm a lawmaker now, and so
yeah, see, I called it. I knew exactly where he was going to go with that question. Bro, what the fuck is this piece of shit doing? It wasn't an interview, it was a hit job. My God, I wish you would just push Republicans as hard as you pushed her. What a bunch of dumbass questions. Do you think I should be abolished? Do you support AOC? She's trying to win a seat based on affordability, not this bullshit line of questioning. Why are you surprised at all? No. This goes beyond. I'm surprised because this is, dude. I'm surprised because it's a fucking red seat, okay? It is a fucking red seat. And even CNN, under previous standards, would not try to rat fuck a red seat race that's this close, that's this big of an upset chance. At the last hour, the line of questioning, no, not old CNN, no, in general. Okay, you guys need to understand something, okay? Doing this to Zoran is different than doing this to Aftyn Behn. Because even if Zoran loses, in the eyes of CNN, it's still like Andrew Cuomo victory, whatever. This is, if Aftyn Behn loses, the drama goes away, right? The drama goes away from their perspective if they only care about like propaganda purposes or if they only care about like the marketability of candidates and whatnot. This is a major upset. They're trying to put their hand on the scale and tilt it against Aftyn Behn, the underdog here. It goes beyond like, I mean, this is like aggressively ideological, I think.
I wouldn't post things like that now and haven't because I've definitely matured. And I think that speaks to the moment as well that I've spent 10 years organizing in a state to ensure that communities are able to access investment for community response and safety. And I'll do the same as the next congresswoman for the 7th congressional district.
I do want to ask you about an attack line from Republicans, because this is a comment you made in 2020 about Nashville. It's gotten a lot of attention in your race. Let's listen to this.
Oh, come on. I mean, that last one is so stupid. That last one is so stupid. But you already ran the attack lines. I mean, I guess this is not that different. What the fuck's going on with Manu Raju, man? He just fucking despises this person. He's operating like this is an enemy.
I hate the city. I hate the bachelorettes. I hate the pedal taverns. I hate country music. I hate all of the things that make Nashville apparently an it city to the rest of the country, but I hate it.
I know you said those comments were taken out of context, but I want to ask you about it because I'm wondering, do you think it was a mistake to say that?
What? I know you said it's out of context. Do you think it's a mistake? No, what's the context? That's what you're supposed to ask. What's the context? Can you contextualize these statements? He jumped over that point to specifically be like, don't you think it was stupid that you said that? Don't you hate that you said that? Fuck you, Manu. Oh my God. CNN hasn't been sold yet. And this motherfucker's already moving like it has.
Once again, I was a private citizen. Nashville is my home. Do I roll my eyes at the bachelorette parties and the pedal taverns that are blocking my access to my house? Yeah, every Nashvilleian does. But this race has always been about something bigger. It's about families across Middle Tennessee that are getting crushed by rising prices, while Washington politicians and billionaires argue about this type of nonsense. And so once again, I've been steadfast and dogged in my message about addressing the affordability crisis in Tennessee. And like I said, the race is close because that is what I've been doing.
So this fall, after 43 days, the longest government shutdown in American history, just 6 Democrats voted with Republicans in the House to reopen the government. Virtually all.
You want to know what my actual criticism is? Here, controversial. Because I like her. I think she's solid. You want to know what the real criticism is here? She's not saying how, at least in these interviews. And that's very important. Because Zoran didn't just say, oh, I'm going to solve affordability. He actually said what he was going to do specifically. He went to the public. He figured out what are some areas of improvement that we can immediately get across. This is a major issue. I think a lot of Democrats heard that Zoran won on affordability and are running like that. Now, I will say there is a little bit of policy there, at least where she says, oh, healthcare is a major problem. Affordability around healthcare is a major problem. And what she is doing kind of feels like to me of it almost sounds like she just read somebody else's homework and is just trying to recite it offhand. And I say this as someone who likes her, and I'm very excited for her to win. Yeah. Or as the gays would say, reheated nachos. Exactly. And we can't be doing that. Now, you might say there wasn't a lot of time for this campaign to be initiated. There wasn't a lot of time for this campaign to be implemented where they could not have locked in and locked down. Hasan explaining opportunism without wanting to start a fight in chat. No, I'm, first of all, if I thought she was an opportunist, I would say it. I like her. She's a social worker. Automatically, if you're gonna have a judge and they've done public defender work, I'm always gonna like that. If you're gonna have a politician who comes from a background of being a public school teacher, part of the union, or a social worker, I'm always gonna like that. These are great jobs. These are exactly the type of jobs that you want politicians to have had prior. Okay? Much better than a fucking lawyer, much better than a cop, much better than a veteran. No disrespect, but that's exactly what I like seeing. And I don't think that she is an opportunist in general. I'm simply stating that I think she had not a lot of time to put this shit together. And I'm sure they have policies, but I should be hearing some of them, especially when one of the best things that Zoran did, public defender is a lawyer. No, look, I mean a prosecutor. I apologize. Public defender background is different than, the prosecutor side or like a fucking corporate lawyer. My point is, this is not only better. Yeah, Zoran wouldn't just deflect on every attack to the real issue of affordability. As the Shatter is correctly pointing out, he would state exactly how he's going to solve a certain problem, right? Simply going back and doing judo to be like, well, I care about affordability, these guys don't, that's not going to be enough. Because you got to tell people how you're going to help them. And I think the faster Democrats identify that, the better it is. Now, This is actually quite simple for left flank candidates in general because there are pre-existing issues that they can lean into, right? Medicare for all is a great example of this. Nah, she's messing to Republicans. No, I don't think that's the case because what I'm talking about is not, the policies are not ideological, especially at a time when the Democratic Party refuses to identify themselves with these policies. It's actually quite beneficial for you to just say, no, this is what I'm about. I'm about, like, I don't know what her district looks like, so I can't speak on it, but like maybe there's a public transit issue, or maybe there's an issue with like housing that is specific to that locality, specific to that district. But identifying that and saying that that is going to be a key part of your policymaking, a key part of your agenda, is absolutely what you're supposed to be doing. And like I said, if you're already a left flank candidate, regardless, you could just say Medicare for all. That's easy. That's easy buckets. Okay. That's easy money. So just simply and then leaving it that will come across as hollow. You cannot lean into people's capacity to believe without giving them something to get excited by. Okay? What? I 100% agree with you. She doesn't need the policies. No, you're dumb. No, you're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. You're dumb. I'm sorry. No. You want to win Republicans in a fucking plus 25 Republican district? It can't just be an anti-Trump pick. There is no reason to fucking rely on the anti-Trump pick in a plus 25 district. You're wrong. You have to sell. You have to sell why people should vote for you instead of the fucking pro-Trump person. Nah, I'm in Tennessee. You just don't understand the district. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't need to understand the district. I don't need to understand the district. This is what I talk about professionally every fucking day. What do you mean? Your argument is, well, this district is different. You don't understand Tennessee. They really hate Trump there. Okay, it doesn't matter. Adding policies onto that is not going to harm you. No, you have to stand for something. You have to tell people what you're going to give them, okay? That's it. You have to tell people what you're going to give to them. You can't just like lean into just affordability and the I'm not Donald Trump and I'm going to be an anti-Trump pick and then expect people to vote. Okay? A lot of people, I think, got the wrong message once again, where they thought, oh, if you just say you're for affordability, then people will respond to you. Okay? This really illustrates your argument. While she does have an actual page for Substack, it doesn't show. Feed kids, fix roads, fund hospitals. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a good start. I actually am Tennessee and you're wrong. What the fuck can she do in a Congress that isn't pushing anything, though? A junior congressperson isn't setting the agenda. There's no cohesion in progressive U.S. Congress versus being the executive chief in Zoran's case. Wait, what? No Democrat should ever say they're in favor of Medicare for all. Obviously, they will never be able to get that agenda across, so they should never say that they're for certain policies. You're right. You're right, chatter. Every Democrat at all times should be... Wait, why did you hate Kamala Harris? I mean, she advocated for the things within the confines of reason, right? I don't understand why you ever had any criticism of Kamala Harris at all, as a matter of fact. She actually was the reasonable pick. She wasn't Donald Trump. She was the reasonable pick. I thought we weren't supposed to cater to the Republicans. Of course, you're supposed to win Republican votes. You're not supposed to win Republican votes by trying to be racist. You're not trying to win Republican votes when you go, oh, I'm going to be more racist than my opponent. That is wrong. What you're supposed to do instead is go, hey, racist Republicans in Tennessee, would you like cheaper housing? I'm going to give it to you. Hey, are you a Republican racist from the district in Tennessee that voted by 22 points for Donald Trump in the last election cycle, but you realize that he's not giving any of the things, he's not doing any of the things he said he was going to do for you? Well, guess what? I'm going to give you free healthcare. I'm going to fight for free healthcare. A vote for me is a vote for free healthcare for you. You can be just as racist as you want to be, but this time you're going to have free healthcare. That's how you're supposed to do it. Not by going, hey, are you a racist from Tennessee? I am the racist pick for you. Okay? I am the racist pick for you. I'm going to be so much more racist. Yeah, sure. In the past, I was talking about how I want to disrupt ICE raids or how police should be defunded. But I just realized in the last 2 months that I'm going to be more racist than my opponent. I'm the real reasonable racist. Please vote for me. That's not how it's going to work. That's not how it works ever, okay? My point always has been, of course you need to win the votes of Republicans. You just should not try to win their votes by leaning into social issues from a reactionary framework. You should win their votes by going, hey, racists need housing too. Racists need healthcare too, okay? That's it. The other side of the story, of course, or the irony of this is that you can't even win racist votes by being racist. Kamala Harris lost. Kamala Harris was literally saying, I have a better anti-immigration agenda than Donald Trump. I'm a serious person. I will seriously deal with the anti-immigrant agenda. Donald Trump will not. Look what happened. Did it work? I'm going to build a better wall than Donald Trump. Oh, it turns out nobody fucking believed you and you look like an asshole. You look like a fucking liar. So yeah, it's bad politics and bad policy. And it's ineffective campaigning. Oh, I'm going to have a lethal military. I'm going to have the most lethal military. Yeah, but people don't read that as racist, Hasan. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Oh my God. My point is, there is no reason to lean into reactionary framing on issues such as this one when your opposition has a lot more legitimacy in terms of solving that grievance. Just like a Republican doesn't have a lot of credibility when it comes to solving healthcare that Democrats do. Democrats don't have a lot of credibility in taking a more militant approach to people, to dealing with people coming over the border, okay? It's so fucking dumb. I don't know how many times I have to describe this shit. Some of y'all don't listen. Yes, Ryan Fusay, thank you. Why would you vote for a new racist, an unproven racist, when you have a documented and experienced racist? If you're a single issue voter and your issue is racism, you're going to go with the experienced racist. Because he's already, he's already shown you what his opinions are. He's already shown you what his worldview looks like. He's already shown you that he is the guy. He is the fucking guy. Nobody wants the diet version when they could get the full strength soda. And also, the Zoran agenda is successful everywhere, for the record. It's not just successful in New York, it's successful everywhere. A new majority of voters, 63%, support a Medicare for All system that would eliminate most private insurance plans, replace premiums with higher taxes, guarantee health coverage for everyone, eliminate most out-of-pocket costs like copays and deductibles. We also find support for Medicare for All is resilient, even after voters hear opposing arguments that the plan would raise taxes and give the government too much control over health care. You understand?
Democrats,
anyway, fuck Manu Raju. I can't believe this interview, man.
Including your party leaders, voted no because there was no new healthcare policy included in it. So if you were in the House at the time, would you have voted with your party leaders to keep the government closed or with Republicans to open it?
I want to highlight an anecdote from the district that I think encapsulates how voters felt. I was at a healthcare town hall in Clarksville, and a Black female veteran who works at the Social Security office burst into tears. This was during, I think, the government shutdown had just ended, perhaps. And she, in her tears, said, why do I have to trade my pain for someone else's? Alluding to the fact that, the Democrats, were holding out to ensure the ACA subsidies. So I want to flag that I think there's a lot more nuance in politics that we're not giving credit for. And I'm someone who always listens to my constituents.
What is the music playing in the background? She's literally in a fucking room, and in the other room, there's a party going on.
And more importantly, most people don't want to think about government. And the fact that they've had their government front and center for the past 9 months or 12 months speaks to the fact that they just want a government that works effectively for the people and to deliver lowering costs for them. And so I just, there's a lot of nuance, and I'm someone who always listens to my constituents, and I would have taken that into consideration in that vote.
So but it's a yes or no vote. So how would you have voted?
At this point, I'm not a congresswoman. Like I said, I would have wanted to hold a bunch of town halls across the district to see what folks thought, because I heard from a lot of, especially employees that work in federal government, that they've gone 2.5 pay periods without pay. However, I've heard from constituents who also want to ensure that the ACA subsidies remain. So
it's so crazy. This is already, it ended. What the fuck's your problem? Why are you trying to get a gotcha in on a hypothetical that she doesn't even have the, like a hypothetical that ended, by the way. What would you do on 9/11? Why would you let 9/11 happen if you were in Congress? Why wouldn't you stop 9/11 from happening if you were in Congress at the time? Okay, I don't fucking know. What do you mean? Like, she's not even running for Senate. So her position on whether she would fund the whether she would vote to continue funding the government or not is not even like a controversial one. It was actually controversial in the Senate. It was impactful in the Senate. So like, I don't even know why a congressperson has been asking this when they're a representative. Yeah, he should basically tie this off by being like, what's the first place you would go to if you won your race? And why is it not Israel? Do you hate the Jews? Just fucking run it, dude. Run it, run it.
It was a tough decision, and I would have voted with my district.
Okay. All right, Tennessee State Representative Aftyn Behn, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Really appreciate your time.
I'm surprised he didn't hit that. That's weird.
All right, tomorrow, voters head to...
Yeah, his next question, do you condemn Hasan Piker?
The polls in Tennessee choosing between Republican candidate Matt Van Exel.
I will say also, this is low-key exactly what I was talking about when candidates that are adjusted to domestic, like the local politics and the local demographic concerns or whatever the fuck. Because like, she is the most Tennessee woman. Like, I don't know how successful a run would look like if you had like a Muslim socialist in Tennessee. Not to say that it wouldn't be successful. I'll never say that. But I will, however, say her being a blonde woman with a name like Aftyn Behn probably helps. Okay? Like, when you got one of those Kaylele, Braylele ass names, dude, it probably helps a lot. It probably helps a lot when you're running in the South, you know? Yeah, we need to, not to say that, like, we only need to run white people in the South. I'm not saying that at all. But when you got a white person who has a Braylele ass name, and on top of that, she's got good politics, it's great. But her opponent is a male vet, which makes it a bit of a wash. I don't think Americans give a fuck about veterans as much as you think they do. First of all, if everyone is a vet, then no one is a vet. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, there's so many fucking vets. What are you talking about? Look at Mitch McConnell versus, what's her face? The drone operator. There are plenty of instances where Democrats run vets all the time in the South, and nobody gives a shit. Amy McGrath, exactly. Amy McGrift.
Or Democrat candidate Aftyn Behn in the special election for the state's 7th congressional district. Democrats have poured millions into this race in an attempt to flip this red district blue. But there is new controversy surrounding that Democrat candidate over previous comments like this.
Yeah, they can't lengthen her beard, that's for sure. Exactly. I'm sure they tried to make her look weird by, I don't know. They tried to figure out a way to like maybe make her look like Latino or something, but she's so fucking blonde, dude.
I've been heavily involved with the Nashville mayoral race because I hate the city, I hate the bachelorettes, I hate the pedal taverns, I hate country music.
Well, good thing we watched the Manu Raju piece. Good thing we watched that because it's identical to the Fox News piece. Hey, I'm glad that we're watching this back to back. Let's see how different the Fox News coverage is than the hit piece that CNN dropped. And by the way, for those of you who are wondering, we did look at the comments on the CNN hit piece, and straight up, everybody was like, "What the fuck is this? What is CNN doing?" Like the audience was not fucking with Manu at all. They were like, "The fuck? Is this Fox News? What are you doing?"
President Trump and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are reportedly set to hold tele-rallies for the two candidates on their respective parties, with some saying that this contest is a possible indicator for how the midterms might go.
Yeah, also, hating on annoying tourists is a winning message in every district is correct, especially one that has any part of Nashville. I feel like Fox is playing this up as like from the national Republican Party perspective. They don't understand that this is annoying for regular Nashvillians, you know? But they think like, oh, they'll hear that she said she hates country music. She's a woke libtard. Meanwhile, probably, first of all, everyone in Nashville is a woke libtard regardless, but that's besides the point. But it's like saying you don't like going to the fucking Abbey because it's all bachelorette parties. Okay? If someone says that about the Abbey, most gay people that have been to the Abbey that are from WeHo are going to be like, oh, this guy knows ball. Okay? They're not going to think you're being homophobic. If anything, it beefs up your support in the constituency. Or yeah, someone from New York saying they fucking despise Times Square. Yeah, maybe for like people who go and visit New York, Times Square is a wonderful experience. So they could present that as someone like hating New York, but it actually boosts your local cred. This man knows balls. Exactly.
Tell us how you really feel, Aftyn. Republican National Committee Senior Advisor Danielle Alvarez joins us now. Danielle, good morning to you.
Dude, what is... Fox News is operating on 240p
We're talking about
auto.
Tennessee District 7.
It's
an area that President Trump won by 22 points in 2024. And this race tomorrow is expected to be tighter than that. Is that raising any alarm bells within the administration?
Oh, it's definitely raising fucking alarm bells within the admin. President Trump on Democrats' new left-wing lunatic Aftyn Behn.
How the hell can you elect taxes? You want to raise your taxes on top of everything else. But she said two things above all else that bothered me. Number one, she hates Christianity. Number two, she hates country music. How the hell can you elect a person like that? So I just want to give my total support, and he's had it right from the beginning, to Matt Van Epps. He's going to be a fantastic congressman. He's going to represent you so well, and we'll keep our agenda going. And
Yeah,
I'm going
Trump,
to make a
Trump
call
famously
tonight
a lover of country
about
music.
7 or 8 o'clock. I'm doing a tele-rally for him tonight. So if anybody wants to listen, basically I'll be saying the same things I just said. He's fantastic, and go get him and get out tomorrow morning. Get out and vote, and let's make it a sweeping victory. The whole world is watching Tennessee right now, and they're watching your district. The whole world. It's a big vote. It's going to show something. And it's got to show that the Republican Party is stronger than it's
All right,
ever been.
President Trump live at the rally with Speaker Mike Johnson, as this election is very important.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, and this is the right call. The fact that they have to fucking grovel and beg like this shows it's a Trump 22 district. Trump plus 22 district. Everything is collapsing. The entire world is collapsing around Donald Trump right now. And if Aftyn Behn wins tomorrow, oh my fucking God. Oh my God. It's not just Matt Iglesias that's on suicide watch. Who knows? Who knows what could happen for the Republicans? It is, oh God. Oh my Lord. It will be fucking glorious. Okay? Anyway, Adam Carlson reports Behn is still definitely an underdog going into tomorrow. She has a shot at pulling off the upset, but she needs to pull an inside straight. To my eye, she needs pretty much all of these things to happen. Win 70% in Davidson County, home to 1/3 of Nashville. Squeeze out as many votes in Davidson County as possible, boosting his vote share to be more than 22% of the district that it was last November. Keep Montgomery County, home to Clarksville, within 5 points. Hold Van Epps to less than 60. Williamson, Robertson, Dixon, Cheatham, Hickman. Ideally with weak relative turnout. Hold Van Epps to plus under 70% in rural counties. Humphrey, Stewart, Wayne, Decatur, Benton, Houston, Perry. Ideally with weak relative turnout. Part of what makes this district so difficult for Behn and the Democrats is that the suburbs behave more like exurbs, politically speaking. They are blood red with basically no blue pockets. There's nowhere else for Dems to run up margins apart from Nashville and parts of Clarksville. Pretty much everywhere else is about limiting the degree of damage and praying for weak turnout. I'm by no means a Tennessee political expert. Volunteer state politicos, please tell me if I'm wrong on any of this stuff. Tennessee's gerrymandered to hell. I mean, the fact that like polling is showing incredibly well is still good though. It's not necessarily that they will be red. Okay? It's more so that it's going to be red regardless. But the areas that are deep red, hopefully they won't go out in large numbers because they're already pissed off, didn't know that there was an election happening. That's why we wanted this to be, that's why a lot of people wanted this to be like a sleeper hit. But of course that's gone now, right? Because if this race was not nationally prominent, then Aftyn Behn had a much larger chance of upset. But now that it's nationally relevant, Trump is literally doing a fucking teleconference. You know what I mean? He's trying to bring out as many voters as possible from those deep red areas. We want to make sure that those deep red areas don't turn out. They're like, ugh, I don't want to. I don't really give a shit. Fuck Donald Trump. I'm not going to go out and vote for the Democrat, but like, I'm not going to reward Trump by going out and voting for him. He already won. He already got my vote, but he hasn't delivered on his promise. If he was actually delivering on his promise, maybe I'd think differently. Okay? It's going to have good turnout for a special, but it's going to be much lower than a presidential among Republicans. Dems are going to be supercharged. Oh, yeah. No, that's a given.
Hi, everyone. Representative Aftyn Behn, the Democratic nominee for the 7th.
Apparently, it's also slated to snow tomorrow, so that's good.
Congressional special election. I am yet again out in Clarksville canvassing, whereas my opponent is behind the big pearly gates of a Williamson County mega mansion, meeting with the puppet masters and power brokers of the universe, whereas I'm talking to actual people out in the area. I humbly ask for your...
If I were to talk to Republicans in Tennessee, I'd also bring up the fact that I get no AIPAC money on top of that and do the thing that she did in the beginning of the CNN interview, which is like, listen, I'm going to be a representative for you no matter what your party affiliation is. And this is a real opportunity to tell Trump that you're upset with his agenda because he's too busy doing stuff overseas, right, with those fucking foreign nations and not busy enough at home. Donald Trump has left the Tennesseans behind, okay? We got real Tennessee-ass issues here, and Trump is not doing enough to solve them. He's over there giving $40 billion to Argentina.
Your vote tomorrow. Polls open at 7 a.m. They will close at 7 p.m. If you're in line, stay in line. I know I've been living rent-free in the president's mind the past few days, and I'll just say, sir, you are the leader of the free world, and you're beefing with a 5'4"
That's a good-ass line. Air Force One is never here. I like that.
5'4" blonde who had a Hot Girls Hit Curbs bumper sticker on her car. Come on. Guys, the reason they're coming after me so hard is because they don't...
Yeah, she is a faillennial. Faillennials rise up. So is Zoran, though.
Don't have a plan to address what the rising cost of healthcare, the rising cost of groceries, and that's why they're coming after me. And you know what? Such is life. We've built a cavalry. We've got all the momentum on our side. We just need folks to show up. So as you are able, phone bank, text, call your second cousin who lives in Decatur County. Make sure they have a plan to vote tomorrow. Weather's going to be icy, but that's okay because every single election I've won, the weather has been treacherous, and I'll take my chances. So honored to run for this seat. Humbly ask for your vote. Let's go out and win this. Let's shock the country and let's shock the nation and send a message to Washington.
Let's shock the world. What if she brought up the Jews instead of foreign nations? Yeah, there's no reason to say those sorts of things. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, what if she was like, hey, I love Nick Fuentes, instead of whatever the fuck she's been doing so far that has actually made this a close race? You read the dumbest fucking chatters, bro? Yeah, exactly. I'm reading one right now. What do you have to say to that? Fucking got your ass, dude. Fucking got your ass. Yeah, you need a little shake. I'm gonna shake you a little bit and slap you a little bit too.